morning, everyone. Welcome to Bookswagon. So today with me, I have Priya Arora ma'am, who is an author, a spiritual seeker, whose work blends timeless Vedanta wisdom with practical insights for modern life. Her latest book, Life is a Battlefield, uses teachings of Bhagavad Gita to help readers build resilience, mental clarity, and inner peace. So, ma'am, let's go on air with Bookswagon. We are really glad to have you here today.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Ma'am, before I go to the technicalities of the book, I really want to know that what brought you towards the spiritual journey. Like I also wrote a spiritual seeker. So what interested you in this whole genre or in this whole field? What caught you up there?
So you see, when everything is going well in life, you don't look to spirituality. Why would you? But when you have problems, and I had, a severe health problem, I had very bad cancer, and then I had a son with special needs, which was extremely difficult for me to deal with. But when you have these kind of situations in life, then you get drawn to spirituality, and not because you want to escape from it, but because you want to find answers. And I found those answers in the Bhagavad Gita, because the Bhagavad Gita is a very practical guide. We think of it as, oh, this should be read in retirement. It'll make you inactive if you read the Bhagavad Gita. Just the opposite. Bhagavad Gita actually is a book on mind management. It is a lesson in how to manage your mind so you manage your life. And we all need that. I wish I had learned this when I was 15 and not 50. You should not wait till you're 50 to study Bhagavad Gita, because these lessons will make you happy in life. And that's what we all want. In life, there's only one lesson that we all need to learn, and how to actually be genuinely happy. We look for happiness here, there, and everywhere. But the real happiness is in your mind. It's from within. If you can be happy within, then nothing will upset you in life. Nothing at all. And that's why I wrote this book, because it helped me. And if it helped me, I felt it could help other people. But especially young people, like you.
Mom, like you're saying, that especially young people like me and everyone else. So you have taken excerpts, you have modernized the form of Bhagavad Gita a bit in your book, as I read. So how did you actually strike a balance? Because it's a huge responsibility, I feel. So you've used your creativity as well, and you've balanced the shlokas, the teachings from there. So I just want to know, where did you strike your balance?
So I'll give you an example. Bhagavad Gita the lessons in the Bhagavad Gita are eternally relevant. You might think, why should you be interested in what Arjuna was told, in Dwapara Yuga? How does it help you? It helps because the lessons are not only for that time. They are especially important for us now. I'll give you an example, so that you understand it. The example is, there's a famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita, that's karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Now that is such a powerful line if you internalize it. So what he's saying there, Shri Krishna, is you only control your effort. You do not control the outcome. So the word adhikar is sometimes mistranslated as right. So it's mistranslated as you have the right to work, you don't have the right to the result, which is not what he's saying. He's saying you don't control the result. You only control your effort. So, for instance, if you're studying for an exam, you can't say that I'm going to come first. You don't know. You don't control that. Because you don't control other people's input. But you do control your effort.
Yeah.
So, what he's saying is you put in full effort and then leave the result. Yeah. The result will take care of itself. But you put in the effort. That's the only thing you control. Now, that is a very important lesson, because the reason for our stress, a lot of our stress, is we want to control that result. And we're thinking of the result rather than our effort. Roger Federer said this in the same way. He gave a commencement speech at Dartmouth University. And he said that every time he plays a point, he focuses only on that point. His eye is only on the ball, and his focus is entirely on that point. But he says, the moment that point is over, It's done. Whether he wins or loses is not relevant. He doesn't stress about the outcome. So he's doing the same thing. So you see, anybody who achieves excellence in any field in life will follow this subconsciously, automatically. Not because they read the Bhagavad Gita, but because this is a lesson for life.
Yes.
So that is.
Indeed agreed, ma'am. Ma'am, could you just put your mic a bit more closer?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Ma'am, my next question is, in your book, you have connected the Bhagavad Gita's teachings to contemporary emotional and mental challenges as well. So, what do you think can be the core message which our generation can actually take away from?
Okay. So especially for modern times, in the young generation, we are brought up to think that everything in life must be perfect. We expect perfection. We must have the, perfect schooling. We must get the perfect grades. We must then get the perfect job. We must get the perfect spouse, the perfect children, the perfect house. This is what we are chasing, But it's actually a very wrong way of thinking. It's good to strive, but it's not good to have unrealistic expectations. So the first lesson of Bhagavad Gita is that you have to learn that in life, everybody faces adversity. And that's the first chapter of my book. That you have to internalize that lesson. That, bad things will happen. Not just to you, but to everybody.
Yes.
And once you actually internalize that, when that thing happens, it's not so bad. Because you're expecting it.
Yes.
So Bhagavad Gita actually anchors you in many ways. I always say that Shri Krishna was the best psychologist to ever exist. He knew the human mind and he helps you actually be on top of it.
Yes.
To win the battle of life. Because life is a battle. Now, how do you win that battle? That is what the lesson is.
Okay.
You win the battle with your mind.
Yes, true.
That's it.
Ma'am, since we are talking about lessons, so which single lesson do you think that people can immediately apply to improve their lives?
So, the lesson was actually the one that I just told you, that in life, control the controllables. Do not chase what is beyond your control. And we always do that. We try and chase which we have no control over. One of the examples is, I just take it in a relationship. It's a simple thing that nowadays people have a relationship. You have expectations of the other person. Do you have control over how they're going to do it? You don't. But we expect that person to be the way we want them to be towards us. And then when they're not, then we get stressed and upset. So the lesson is that you actually only control your own behavior. You cannot control another human being. So in relationship management, it's very important to recognize that. To say, okay, fine, this person is this way, they're not going to change. Can I live with this person as they are? If the answer is yes, that's different. But if the answer is no, then think again.
Yes.
Yes. Because you cannot change anybody else.
Indeed, ma'am, so truly said. And I really want to ask that what lesson have you taken in your life from this book? Because Bhagavad Gita teaches us a lot of things, detachment and to get rid of expectations and many more. As you said, Krishna was the greatest psychologist. So what balance have you gotten from this book personally that gave you a lot of peace, as you've said,
yes,
the title of your book?
So for me, it was the learning that things will happen in life. Things will come from all sides, you'll have difficulties. And it's different for different people. It could be health issues, it could be financial issues, it could be relationship issues, it could be loss, there's so many things that we have to deal with. It could be job issues. But through all these issues, there is one solution. And that solution is keeping yourself, forcefully detaching yourself from the material. Now, that seems like, that's very difficult to do. And actually, even Arjuna said that. When Krishna tells him this, He says, you have to control your mind and how you react to things. You know what he says? He says the mind is very difficult to control. It's more difficult to control the mind than to control the wind. But and what does Sri Krishna says? He says, yes, you're right. It's difficult to control. Nobody said it's easy, but it can be done.
Yes.
And by how? He gives two ways. He says by cultivating vairagya, which is slight detachment, and by abhyas, by practice. So a simple way is you start by small things. If every morning you have to have that particular coffee, that particular brand, that particular kind of coffee, and your day doesn't start without it, try one day not having it. And try and see you're detaching yourself from that. You see, when you're not sort of a slave to anything, then you're master of everything.
Yeah.
So that is what you have to cultivate.
Indeed.
Put yourself in the driver's seat. Don't be dependent on any outside factor for your inner happiness.
True.
That is the biggest lesson. If you can do that, you'll be eternally happy.
Indeed. Very truly said, ma'am. Ma'am, before we end this conversation, what would be your message to the readers who are listening to us today?
Okay, I would say everybody needs to study the Bhagavad Gita. And because it's not a religious book. It's a book which is a very practical guide to help you live a fulfilling life, a life of peace, a life of happiness. It is the guide. Actually, the title of this book that I've written could have been How to Be Happy.
Okay.
That would have been an alternate title for it. Okay. So yes, that would be my advice.
Why did you choose this title?
The reason I chose Life as a Battlefield is because that's what life is. You see? Okay. So it is a battle, but you can still win.
Yes.
You can win that battle. With the right mindset, you can win. So that's why I chose that.
Indeed. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this session. I learned a lot, and I'm sure everyone whoever will read this book will also get really much impact in their life. Thank you so much for being with us here.
Thank you for inviting.
And thank you everyone for being with us here today. Thank you.
My book is now available on Volkswagen.